Hello, everyone.
Hi!
I'm Ronnie.
And I'm Severine.
Welcome to Moonlight Ponderings.
So today we're talking about astral travel again. We've talked about it a little bit before, but both of us have had more experiences since the last time we talked about it. And we also wanted to kind of touch on
Meditation,
and we want to talk about the
struggles.
Because especially if you're new, like, you go and you look at a bunch of videos and stuff, and there's people that have sort of experiences and they don't really explain about, like, a lot of their personal struggles, I feel like. I don't know if that makes sense, but, I've got another friend who's kind of new, and we've been talking about how it's been hard, or it is hard sometimes, and I think that's for everybody, to kind of just get in the zone. Like, I don't know if you guys struggle with it too, but it's hard for me, especially like if I'm sitting, then I have to kind of sit upright and then, focus, and then I feel like I can't quite focus and separate.
I have to lay down every time I astral.
Yeah, like I feel like if I'm sitting up, I can't focus, so then I lay down. But if I lay down,
I might fall asleep.
yeah.
Well, for those of you who don't know, astral travel is when you leave the physical realm behind. Your body stays here, but like your soul travels into a different plane of existence.
And many people will argue that you do this in your sleep frequently, and you just don't remember it. And I agree with that. I mean,
But also people would argue that you're just dreaming.
My personal belief is that it is an astral experience. I believe when you are kind of more like you can control what's happening, it's more like a lucid dream.
Okay.
Because you're lucid. You know what you're doing and you can actively control what's happening. Whereas sometimes astral is more of like you're experiencing it kind of like you would a movie. You can't really control it,
Well, the thing about astral travel for me is it's hard to focus sometimes. It's really hard to get grounded and focus.
I have found that I tend to have more success when I have certain crystals around my bed. Celestite is a good one. I think.
Celestite's a good one. Of course, amethyst is always a good one.
Yeah, amethyst is always a good one. Carborundum, which is a mineral. I was doing some looking into that today. Carborundum is very interesting because it's actually man-made.
Oh.
It is a stone created by electricity. Scientists wanted to make diamonds using electricity, and they made carborundum.
I believe there are stones that can help, like lepidolite. It helps with anxiety, so that can help relax you, get you in a relaxive state.
I think my big issue is that I feel like I'm focusing too much on it. And with astral, you kind of have to, you'll hear a lot of people talk about that it's sort of like your body becomes heavy when you're on the edge close to sleep, and you're leaving and things happen. And sometimes I feel like, I can kind of feel like there's like a tense pressure. I don't know.
Around the third eye chakra?
Yeah, like around the third eye chakra. And I mean, I'm fairly good at it when I'm not trying to focus on it. Like I've done it.
It's like you have to focus without focusing too hard.
Yeah. And
it's one of those things that sounds so redundant. It's just like...
You want to focus, but you don't want to focus to the point that you're like... It's like you can't try too hard with it. It's really a weird...
I guess the way to describe astral projection is like it's a dream you control completely, for the most part.
Yeah, and I mean, I think technically, in my personal belief, I believe that when we daydream, that's kind of a form of astral too, because, like you're in that moment and sometimes you kind of zone out.
They go, hey, come back.
Yeah. I mean, and I can do that easy. Like, you know, I've had it happen to me a lot. And I think that might be Pisces in me because I'm a Pisces. But I have a lot of air in my chart too. Like there's Gemini all over the place. And so I think that it's easy for me when I get there and it happens naturally. But if I think about it and if I try it, then it's not as easy sometimes.
I would say I find it easier for me to astral project than to actually meditate.
Yeah, I'm not very good at meditating. And I think it's because astral, like, and that's another thing. If you've never astraled before, please keep in mind that it's not going to be like a 3 or 4 hour Lord of the Rings epic trilogy situation.
Well, it is kind of like time is irrelevant when you astral project.
Time doesn't work the same way. So what feels like Lord of the Rings epicness is actually more like 5 minutes in real world. So you get back and it feels like no time has passed. A lot of times.
Some people would argue, well, how do you know you're not just dreaming? I don't normally have reoccurring dreams. Yeah. And when I astral project, I 99% of the time will end up in the same place.
Exactly. And I think one thing too, if you're really, really interested in sort of being on this other realm, you know, there's a lot of traditions out there that sort of practice creating an inner realm. And if you're creating an inner realm, then you're essentially making yourself a safe place within your mind that you can practice. I've heard of some people, you know, creating it with other people, and so that, you know, you can all go there and maybe even interact when you're on the astral. And that is hard, I will say. Like, you know, I've heard of people interacting on the astral. They say that if you want to like interact with someone on the astral, then you can say, like, you send them a message right before bed so that they're thinking of you, you know, so that when they sleep and they go on the astral, then the two of you might have an interaction. But I think too that because we're so very different and our minds work so differently, I don't think the astral works the same for every one person. Like, I think that, you know, I think it, like, say that the two of us were on the same astral area. Mm-hmm. I think that I might see an entity and I might see it as a bear, and you might see an entity and you might see it as a squirrel. I mean, I think that I don't think it works the same.
Well, I was going to say that also, for me at least, I look different when I astral. Like, my astral self is not my physical self. Yeah. And I think what that is it's you, either you become like the true self you, mm-hmm. or you become a you that you're more comfortable with being. Yeah. At least maybe on a subconscious level.
Well, I mean, I've talked a little bit before about that I believe my spirit is a fae, and therefore I guess I would say that associates with otherkin ideology. I don't believe that means that I'm going to sprout fairy wings and fly, just so that we're clear, like, and that makes sense. I believe that...
She jumps off the roof regularly.
Huh?
She jumps off the roof pretty regularly.
I will say the closest experience to me that I feel to flying is probably riding roller coasters, and that's something I love to do when I get to do it. I love the sensation, like something about the adrenaline rush and the feeling of like
the wind rushing through you.
Mm-hmm.
See, I just love windy days. I don't like roller coasters because I feel like I'm not in control, and that bothers me.
I would love to be more in control, but at the same time, like, you know, that's the closest for me. And I'm sure it's different for other people, but...
I think that's partly why I like submerging myself, like, when I swim, is because I feel like I'm flying.
Mm. I like submerging when I swim, too, and I'm one of those... I've always been one of those girls. I've never been a bikini on the side of the pool girl. I've always been the one that like
Cannonballing into the pool.
Yeah, swimming. I would do swim tricks like handstands, and I would actually swim across the length of the pool and stuff like that. But anyway, the point being, I think that for me, you know, that's how I see myself, because that's a past life, and also my spirit has carried on those aspects. But I don't ever, like, I'm in a human body, and so I'm constrained, is that the right word?
Restrained?
Restrained. We'll say restrained. I make up words sometimes. But I feel like, you know, I'm not ever gonna like literally shoot sparkles out of my hands or something like that. Not to say that I don't think it is possible for someone to do that. I mean, you know, like,
I do think it's a good idea to visualize that.
yeah, I do. I think it's good that when you're doing a spell, you know, you look at your hand and it might not physically be there, but you visualize that energy that you feel coming out. And so you see it as something. And for me, when I visualize, I see blue vines and blue roses. I don't know if that's just Melictals coming out. I feel like it a lot. It resonates.
That's interesting.
It resonates with me.
So what are some things you do to help you get in the mood for astral projection, or that you think would help benefit when you're trying to astral project?
Mm-hmm. On the medicinal side, blue lotus is a good flower for astral projection. Damiana is a good herb. Mugwort's a good herb. Jasmine's a good herb. Hibiscus is a good herb.
We actually made a hibiscus lotion one time.
Mm-hmm.
We should try that again at some point.
We should try that.
Get a better blender to do it with. Because
Mm-hmm.
we hand whisked it.
It was so good.
Though, we actually have a tea that we make, and we use hibiscus, we use mullein and mugwort, lavender, and there's something else we put in it.
I will caution.
It
I
begins
don't
with
know.
a C. What was it we put in there?
Chamomile?
Chamomile to relax, yes. Yeah. And it actually tastes quite delightful.
Yeah. Hibiscus has a very sweet taste to it. I will caution with lavender. I've heard some people say lavender gives them headaches, so I would definitely
go on the light side of lavender.
And to be fair, don't take our word for every single thing. If you have a medical condition and things like that, you should look up.
Well, you research every herb before you use it.
We're not doctors. Disclaimer.
However, I mean, if you know it's a known tea ingredient, you're probably okay.
Yeah. You probably are, but at the same time, we're not responsible.
But it does. It makes a very lovely tea.
Yeah.
And it's a good tea to use before astral projecting.
Yeah.
And moving on to the other side of meditation, a tea I would use would just be a chamomile tea. With maybe a little bit of hibiscus in there too, because when you meditate, sometimes you do want visions. And
I'm really not good about stationary meditation.
Again, the whole sitting up and going I don't think I could do it.
I can if my back is leaned against something, but I have a really bad back.
I've never tried the whole, because I've seen it done in movies, so I don't know how much science there is behind it, to be fair. But people sitting while holding crystals and meditating.
Oh, that does have and this is just a little bit of what I know. You get 2 crystal points, my labradorite wand and your, I guess the.
I have a fluorite, and I have a lot of points.
Yeah, so you want basically you want 1 point facing this way, and then the other point facing. So one facing.
So one's putting in and one's taking out.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty much how you do it. I've seen people do that, and I've I've done meditation where I've had like the little tumbles or palm stones like in my hands, and that seems to also work. But the points, something about points, I think it's because it's such a concentrated energy in one area. It seems to function better.
I think it helps for meditation to have a goal in mind, because I will sometimes meditate to relax, because I do think it is a good way to relax before going to sleep. I don't do it that often, but I have done it. And I do think it does kind of just relaxes your body a little bit. Helps get rid of some of that stress.
Yeah. I like guided meditations on occasion. Like, you know, we did the spirit, was it the totem that we did that one time? That was pretty cool. And we were actually laying down for that one, but I mean, you know, like, I think it helps to have someone talk to you. Like,
I do like some guided meditations. I don't like them with music. I find the music distracting.
It depends.
And I find the music distracting sometimes for astral projection too. It, again, I think if it's like got lyrics to it, it's what distracts me.
Yeah. I think music should be instrumental. Because you shouldn't be focusing on what the words of the song are. But I think guided meditations really work for me. I mean, if I'm trying to meditate, that seems to help to kind of have someone else literally, you know, there guiding me through meditation.
I've heard of someone doing a massage meditation, and I'm like, how would that work? I don't think I could focus, you know, on...
Like the person's giving you a massage while you're meditating?
Yeah.
That sounds awesome, but I don't think that would work.
The massage part sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to be more focusing on how good the massage feels and less about relax. Because the massage itself is relaxing enough to me.
Yeah, I know. That's how I feel about that too.
But...
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I don't think you necessarily have to be called, like, if you call yourself a witch, you don't have to meditate and you don't have to astral project.
No.
Because the idea of astral projection was very scary to me from the get-go.
I think if you're gonna astral, like, and you're like us, the big fear is probably the idea of leaving your body. And for me, I have a staff that I tend to keep with me specifically when I astral, and it tethers me, I feel like, to my body, so that it's kind of like a cord, you know.
Well, see, I kind of do that. I imagine that there's this little string. I don't necessarily feel it or see it, but when I need to, like, just to double check that it's there, it'll appear. I'm like, okay, I'm still good.
Yeah. I think everyone that is like fearful of not being able to get back to your body, and that's the big reason, that's a good thing to do, is to kind of visualize it or have something physically in place that works like that. Heck, grab a spool of thread.
You grab a spool of thread and, like, tie your finger to the end of it before you go.
We just Princess and the Goblin. You'll find your own
and
if you just follow the thread.
She just named, for those of you who don't know, you're lucky, she just named a very horrible movie.
It was pretty bad. Hey, I loved it when I was little, but it's not a good movie. It's not, it's just... It's
anyways... If you're not into astral travel or meditation, I don't think it makes you less of a witch.
It doesn't. You know, I mean, there's so many things. Like, you don't have to be...
You don't have to be into everything. I think it's so exhausting. People go, I'm into Reiki, astral projection, chakras, potion making, candle making, soap making, wand carving, broom making, tarot, runes.
I will say that I personally feel really in tune with astral. And there's a lot of things on that list that I like, but I feel like I don't really do them enough to consider it like a regular part of
My goal is to be a tarot master.
Yeah.
As I do believe that a jack of all trades, master of none.
Mm-hmm.
And my focus right now is tarot and witchery kitchen work.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are my focuses right now.
I think astral is a big part of mine, and I think tarot is another big one.
I think spell writing too is like going to be something for me.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think, you don't have to be absolutely everything, but if it's something that you're really interested in and you feel like you're not getting anywhere with it, then, there's plenty of things to do, and don't feel alone, like you're not the only person that struggles with it. That was my big go-to in this, I was just like, I don't want people to feel like they're the only ones that struggle with getting in the zone.
I would like to say that also a guided meditation is a good way to lead into astral projection.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be something we might look into doing one day, is make our own guided meditation video. Let us know if that's something you guys would like to see. But
I kind of would like to do it. I feel like I've kind of got a knack for it, but I want to get better at it, so we'll see.
a lot of people are into the ASMR thing, and they find that relaxing, like a way to meditate, and I hate it so much. She's tried to get me to do it so many times, and I'm just like...
I really like ASMR, but I understand it's not for everybody. See, the thing with me, too, and I think we do share this, both of us are very sensitive to sound, but I am not just sensitive to hearing it, I literally feel sound. Like, whenever I used to live, basically I was in a more hilly area at one point, before I moved back down here. And I remember that, my in-laws, they had this house, and the house was kind of high up off the ground. Like, you had to climb stairs to get into the house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I would be in there, and I would literally feel the door close from downstairs. Like a car door. I could feel the vibrations off the car door, and I'd be like, someone's here. And they'd be like, how do you know that? And I'd be like, I just felt it. Like, I don't know.
That's me. I don't think it's like a rare superpower. I think just some people are more in tune to that. Like, I can tell if a TV's on and it's in the other end of the house.
Yeah.
And it will irritate me. Like, if it's on a stagnant channel where there's nothing happening, but it's just on. Like, the older TVs especially. Not so much the newer TVs, but, like, the older ones that have that little hum.
I used to have to sleep with movies and stuff playing whenever I was living at my parents'. It's like I just couldn't, like, because they live next to a big highway, so, like, the road noises and stuff would not always be consistent, because, like, sometimes it's dead quiet and then other times it's super loud. But I find that I have to have a consistent sound to kind of drown out the rest of it.
In hindsight now, it's like, if it's super quiet, you can't fall asleep.
Yeah, I can't fall asleep. That's not entirely true. I can, but if, like, when the power goes out, if I'm sleeping and there's a fan going and the power goes out, it's gonna wake me up, because I'm gonna be like, where the fuck did the sound go?
I could have used a little noise drowner last night. There was like the electric appliances that were plugged in were kind of. For a moment, I thought it was we have pest control plugs, and for a moment I thought it was those, and they were about to drive me crazy. But I don't think it was. But
I think that's part of why I really like ASMR. Which, have you really listened to it with headphones on?
Yes,
Okay.
I hate it.
I just
Don't ever try it again. It's not gonna work.
Well,
She still thinks she can get me in.
No, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I mean, to be
It's
fair...
a front. In her head, she's going, one of us, one of us.
No, some people just can't. I mean, and I think what turns a lot of people off is whispering.
That is, oh my god, that's such bullshit.
There's ASMR videos, though, where it's just the sound of rain or, like, the ocean.
See, the problem with those is, I hear the overlapping. Like, when it starts to repeat itself, I will notice it. I pick up on it so fast. I'm like, and it's repeating now. And then I just focus on it, and it's repeating now. It's repeating now.
It's not
like,
always
and it will drive me insane, because I
there
used to have
are-
a sound machine.
There are people that will, like, literally go out there and record, like, 10 hours of material. It just depends.
Well, God bless them, because, yeah that would work.
Yeah,
but
it just depends.
No, it'd be like 3 minutes worth of rainfall, and it just repeats. And I'm like, why can't you just record a whole storm for me? That's all I want. Someone to hold a microphone outside in the rain, getting pneumonia. And like,
I read
for
this
me.
one ASMR channel. The girl said that she had a gazebo and she just left the microphone out in the gazebo during the rain.
That's smart.
Yep. I mean, there's people there. Like, that's the thing. I think when you think of ASMR, you think of the whispery people, but it's not always whispery people. It's also, I mean, because the whole thing is finding a sound that is in tune with you. So it might not be the whispering. It might be like people do finger tapping. People unpack boxes and they like the sound of unpacking boxes. Like,
Freaks. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
aren't you the one that likes to watch the pimples being popped though?
That it's not the sound though. It's the visual relaxation. You're talking to someone that used to love to check people's blood pressure. I mean, not blood pressure, blood sugar. Except when I got stabbed with a needle. I get satisfaction from other people's pain. I'm not a bad person. I'm a terrible person.
Maybe you need to watch some sort of BDSM ASMR. I don't know.
No, it's not a sexual thrill. It's a satisfaction that I've caused someone pain.
Oh my god.
I used to get so mad because I'd do it and they wouldn't even jump. I'd be like, how dare you?
Oh, and there's soap carving ASMR.
That's such a waste of soap.
Or, well, no, I mean, they're actual, like, they carve things.
I know, but soap? I'm like, you're wasting soap. Give me the soap.
But
Then I don't have to buy soap.
They use it to, no, like, I mean, they're carving a bar of soap.
I know, but they're wasting the soap.
But they're gonna reuse what they don't use.
But they're using a whole half a bar soap. Bar soap Ronnie could use.
Yeah, but then they'll just make another bar of soap with the chips off of that soap. It's not that serious.
But I don't get the soap.
You can have the first bar of soap.
Anyways.
It doesn't matter. The point being is that people have different interests.
But going back to the topic on hand, I do think astral projection can be very hard, especially for beginners.
Yeah.
I would not be discouraged if nothing happens the first time, I would tell people.
Yeah.
Because that happened to me the first time. I was like, I'm just lying here.
I think it took me a solid week before I really, like, it would be like glimpses of things. Like, I would feel myself leave my body, and then it would almost be like a panic reaction where it was like, I'm leaving my body! I'm leaving my body!
I don't, there's some people who say, yeah, and I'll see my body there. I'm like, I don't want to see that. Because then I'll have convinced myself I had died.
I've looked back, but I tend not to do it now because I don't feel the need. And, I mean, I just keep going.
For me, it's more so, I know it's there.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it and be so successful. Like, that's what I look like right now. Gross.
Oh my god.
No one wants to see that.
You are cray.
I'm tired. It's been a long day cleaning, guys.
It has been a long day.
I think you're gonna just be like, all they talk about in their videos now is cleaning.
To be fair, though, we totally didn't just record the same night and change outfits. That's not what happened at all.
Quit destroying the illusion. This is a brand new shirt that they've seen before.
But not in the video from an hour ago.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're in a different house with the same furniture and decor.
Yeah.
What?
Anyway.
I feel like that's all that needs to be said, guys. I feel like we're a little worn out.
And if you have questions, like, totally ask, you know. I don't know that I will have the answer, but I am totally happy to help you figure it out.
We will help figure it out. We will ask people who know.
We'll try it and we'll tell you, yeah, no.
Maybe so. My favorite answer, my go-to answer, sure.
Really?
You haven't noticed that?
No.
Yeah, well, ask me something, and the answer is like a detailed answer, and I just go, sure.
Why is that?
Because it works. You guys stop asking me questions then. Because you're annoyed that I don't give you a good answer. So you're like, well, I ain't bothering with him anymore. They love to do it when I just get off work. I'm like, don't talk to me. Stop ranting. Anyways, guys, I love you all. Hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Like us on Facebook, Tumblr, and all that jazz. She's
Instagram.
she's the person for all that. Me and my
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and really that's it.
But yeah, if you like what we do, give us some suggestions of things to talk about too. We will put your topics into consideration. Words.
Definitely.
But we love you guys, and we hope you have a wonderful day. And as always, stay magical.
Bye.
What?